Hey friends, it's that time of year. Advent is almost upon us. We actually have had a little extra time this year. Most years, Advent, the first Sunday of Advent, starts Thanksgiving weekend. So we barely had time to finish our Thanksgiving leftovers before it's time to light the first Advent candle. But this year, we got a little extra time. And in fact, the fourth Sunday of Advent is actually Christmas Eve. So you get a twofer. Christmas Eve, fourth Sunday of Advent, just all the love and joy you can take. So Advent does start this Sunday. And you've got a little time to set some intentions about what it is you want to do in order to have a meaningful Advent. And you know, we often do this every year. We want to have a holy Advent. We want to be focused on the reason for the season, but you know, and I know how easy it is for all of that to go awry. And of course, we blame it on the trappings of the season, on the gift giving and the obligatory gatherings and all the Christmas concerts and pageants and parties we have to go to, and the pressure to have this Hallmark worthy decorated house. You can see I am not in the running for that. But all of those things do get in the way of us having a holy Advent, of us focusing on getting our hearts and minds ready for the birth of Christ. But there's another reason, and we don't like to talk about it as much, but we need to recognize it and own it so we can do something about it. And that's our own apathy about Christmas. Now, most people don't want to cop to being apathetic about Christmas. And I'm not talking about the struggle we have with Christmas when we're also dealing with grief or loss or other struggles. I'm not talking about kind of a blue Christmas, and that's a whole nother message. But just that apathy we get because depending on how many years you've lived, you've lived through a lot of Christmases. Yeah. And how many times can you say Christ is born and get excited about it? In fact, it happened 2,000 years ago. And can we still, after all of this time, after all of the Christmases we've observed, can we still tap into the awe and wonder of it all? The answer is yes. Yes, we can. And here's something else we need to know about Advent. Advent is not only about preparing our hearts and minds to celebrate the birth of Christ, it is also preparing our hearts and minds for when Christ comes again. And that's how it has always been. Advent, it's not in the Bible. It comes out of our church tradition. And near as anybody can tell, it started about the 4th century. That's when we first start seeing writings of Advent pop up in church writings. Later, I think the 5th and the 6th centuries, they show up, mentions of Advent actually show up in worship services. And back in the day, church was done in Latin. All worship was done in Latin. And Adventus, the Latin that is used, that we now call Advent, is actually the Latin translation of the Greek word parousia, which refers to Christ coming again. So our Advent is twofold. It is looking forward to the birth of Christ and looking forward to the day when Christ will come again. And in that no longer and not yet time, Jesus has said the kingdom is here. And so we are living in the kingdom that God has established, trying to become kingdom people, trying to become the people God has called us to be and create the world God always intended. At the same time, knowing we are never going to get there on our own, and at some point, Christ will come and make all things full again. So Advent is all of that. So as you are getting ready to focus on Advent and how to have a meaningful Advent, I've got an easy way to go about it. It is easy as 3, 2, 1. Whoops. 3, 2, 1. My hand-eye coordination needs some work. But here's what you're going to do. You are going to think of 3 things that you definitely want to do this Advent and Christmas season. And they don't have to be religious things. They may be like Christmas Eve service. You want to go to Christmas Eve service somewhere. And that is a non-negotiable. Your 3 things are non-negotiable. So that means if Aunt Susie says you going to church is going to mess up the timing of Christmas dinner, you are going to apologize to Aunt Susie, but let her know that that is a non-negotiable. You will be at church on Christmas Eve. And Susie can do about dinner what she needs to do. The same way you might want to go to music programs, you might want to gather with a certain group of friends. There may be a particular event that you really want to go to or people you want to have over. 3 things. 3 things that you definitely want to have happen in Advent and Christmas to help make it special for you. And these are non-negotiables. These are things that you make happen no matter what life throws at you and all of the trappings and all of that. 3 things. 3 things. So now, 2. So you're going to pick 2 things that you let go of. Now, these may be some internal things for you. They may be things like letting go of the pressure to have that perfectly decorated house or to have your house clean 24/7 throughout the holidays. Just let go of that pressure. You may need to let go, maybe it's Christmas cards. Maybe you feel obligated to send Christmas cards every year and you don't even like doing it. Let that go. Maybe it is a volunteer position that you do, and I know some pastors are going to kill me for this. Something that you have been doing for years, you do not enjoy it, you do not love it, let go. 2 things. And I say just 2 things because we all know that there are things that we do that would not be our choice to do. There are things that we do for the sake of others that kind of are drains on us. But pick 2 things. Let go of 2 things that do not make your heart happy and in fact have the opposite effect on your life. Let go. 2 things. And then 1. You are going to take on 1 new spiritual discipline. Because here's what happens at Advent, is people get all religious-y and all holy, and they decide they're going to do all of these things for Advent, because damn it, they are going to have a holy Advent. And they are going to get up every morning, and they're going to meditate, and they're going to pray, and they're going to read scripture, and they're going to journal, and they just try to take on too much, and of course it goes by the wayside in a matter of 2 or 3 days. So 1 thing, and I do say 1 new thing, because if you may already have a regular spiritual discipline, something you do daily, weekly, you want to add something new to that or substitute something in for what you do on a regular basis. So something new that you're just doing for Advent, 1 thing. And if you're struggling on what that might look like, I got another video that can give you some options if you aren't quite sure what to do this Advent. So there you go. 3, 2, 1. These are doable things, but you got to do them. And if you will do them, 3 things you want to make sure and do, non-negotiable. 2 things you are going to let go of. This is your time to be selfish. And 1 spiritual discipline, new spiritual discipline you are going to take on as we get ready for the coming of Christ. So 3, 2, 1, figure out what you're going to do and what you're not going to do as you get ready for Christmas. And I hope you have a very, very blessed Advent.